The day began with a steady drip, the kind of rain that seeps into everything and refuses to let up. It wasn't a dramatic downpour, but a persistent soaking drizzle that had worked its way into every crack and crevice of the job site. The sound of water hitting metal echoed through the early morning, a reminder that nature always has the final say out here. Not the usual engine roar greeted us, but a heavy silence broken only by the patter of rain and the distant call of a crow. The machines, usually alive with noise and movement, sat idle and glistening, waiting for the day to begin. Overnight rain had turned our worksite into a muddy, steaming mess. Puddles reflected the gray sky and the ground squelched underfoot, threatening to swallow boots whole. Every step was a reminder that today would be anything but routine. The ground, still warm from last week's burn pile, now steamed under a low fog. Wisps of vapor curled up from the earth, mixing with the morning mist and creating an eerie, almost otherworldly scene. It was as if the land itself was exhaling, reluctant to start the day. Boots sank deep, and any thought of driving across the site was laughable. Each step was a struggle, the mud clinging and pulling, determined to slow us down. Even the most seasoned workers had to watch their footing, knowing one wrong move could mean a lost boot or worse. Our bulldozers were sidelined. Pushing dirt today would just make a bigger mess. The risk of getting stuck was too high, and no one wanted to spend the morning digging out a machine instead of making progress. Sometimes the smartest move is to wait and reassess. So we paused, coffee in hand, and rethought our approach. There's a certain camaraderie in these moments. Everyone gathered under the shelter, steam rising from mugs, eyes scanning the site, minds working through the possibilities. It's a quiet time, but one filled with anticipation. The job still had to get done. Stumps pulled, brush cleared, debris burned. The rain might slow us down, but it wouldn't stop us. We adjusted our plans, focusing on the tasks that could be tackled despite the mud, knowing that every bit of progress counted. The challenge was to do it all without getting our machines stuck. Every move had to be calculated, every turn deliberate. The mud was unforgiving, and one careless decision could mean hours lost to recovery efforts. This is where operator skill matters. Reading the land, knowing the limits, and adapting fast. It's not just about brute force, it's about finesse, patience, and experience. The best operators make it look easy, but every decision is weighed carefully. The air was thick with the smell of wet earth and smoke. It's a scent that lingers, mixing the promise of new beginnings with the remnants of yesterday's work. The ground sizzled where embers met rain, a reminder of the constant push and pull between man and nature. Today would be about careful moves, strategy, and a lot of mud. Every task required teamwork and communication, with everyone watching out for each other and the machines. It was a day for patience, for small victories, and for learning just how much grit it takes to keep going. For those who love big machines, it's a test and a thrill. There's a certain pride in overcoming the elements, in finding a way forward when the odds are stacked against you. Mud, rain, and all. It's what makes the job memorable. Engines would soon roar, and the battle with the mud would begin. With every challenge, there's an opportunity to prove what you and your crew are made of. Out here, every day is a new story. And today, it starts with mud, determination, and the promise of progress. On a job site like this, success isn't just about hard work. It's about having the right machines for the job. These steel beasts are the backbone of every project, turning impossible tasks into routine work. When the ground is muddy and the challenges are tough, it's the power and reliability of these machines that keep everything moving forward. Our main workhorses are the Volvo EC350E and the EC220E. These two excavators are the heart of our operation, each bringing its own strengths to the table. Whether it's heavy lifting or delicate maneuvering, they're always up for the task. The EC350E is pure muscle, built for the toughest jobs. When you need to rip out stubborn stumps or move massive loads, this machine delivers raw power. Its engine roars to life, ready to tackle anything in its path. But with all that strength comes a thirst for fuel, so it's best reserved for the heaviest work. The EC220E, on the other hand, is all about agility and efficiency. It's smaller, lighter, and perfect for jobs that require a gentle touch, like sorting materials, stacking debris, or working in tighter spaces. Its fuel efficiency means it can run longer without stopping, making it ideal for long days on site. Each machine has its role, brute force or finesse. When they work together, they complement each other perfectly, handling everything from demolition to fine grading. It's teamwork between man and machine. Using the right tool for the job isn't just about convenience, it's about saving time, reducing costs, and getting the best results. Every minute counts on a busy site, and the right machine can make all the difference. What really sets these machines apart is their versatility. With a range of specialized attachments, they can tackle almost any task you throw at them. From digging to lifting, from clearing to sorting, there's an attachment for every challenge. The digging bucket is the workhorse for moving soil, carving trenches, and shaping the land. It's the go-to tool for most earth-moving tasks, making quick work of even the toughest ground. The stumper attachment is a game-changer for land clearing. It rips out roots and stumps that would take hours to remove by hand, turning a back-breaking job into a simple task. And then there's the grapple rake, perfect for handling brush, logs, and debris. It grabs, lifts, and moves materials with ease, keeping the site clean and organized. Switching attachments is part of the daily rhythm on site. Operators quickly swap tools to match the task at hand, keeping the workflow smooth and efficient. A skilled operator knows how to match the right machine and attachment to each job. It's not just about power, it's about precision, timing, and experience. Every day is a balancing act between power and finesse. Whether it's lifting a heavy load or making a delicate move, the operator's skill makes all the difference. With the right setup, a single machine can take on the work of many, adapting to whatever the day demands. That flexibility is what keeps the job moving, no matter what challenges come up. In the end, it's the combination of powerful machines, versatile tools, and skilled operators that keeps a muddy job site moving forward day after day. The plan was simple: use dozers to rake debris into piles. But the rain made the ground too soft. Dozers would just churn mud. Enter the excavators, our saving grace. Unlike dozers, excavators can work a wide area from one spot. We switched to a bucket brigade, lifting and passing debris from one machine to the next. The EC350E started the chain, pulling stumps and piling them up. The EC220E relayed the piles closer to the fire. It was slower, but it worked. This shift meant swapping attachments, out with the bucket, in with the grapple rake. Changing tools takes skill and patience. With the right attachment, the EC220E became a grabber, ready for its new role. Adaptation kept us productive, even in the mud. Stump removal is a battle of machine versus roots. The EC350E, armed with its stumper, dug around and under each stump, severing roots. With a surge of hydraulic power, the machine would lift and the ground would heave. Most stumps surrendered, but some were monsters. One massive pine refused to budge, even for the EC350E. Time for teamwork. Both excavators grabbed on and pulled together. Engines roared, mud squelched, and finally the stump broke free. It was a victory for power and coordination. Sometimes it takes more than muscle. It takes strategy and teamwork. Each pulled stump was a small win against the land's stubbornness. That's the satisfaction of a dirty job done right. At the heart of the site stood the burn pile, a towering mountain of tangled wood, brush, and debris, collected from days of relentless land clearing. It was an ever-growing monument to the transformation underway, a necessary step in reclaiming the land for new beginnings. The pile was both a challenge and a solution, demanding respect for its power and potential danger. Overnight rain had soaked the outer layers, leaving the surface slick and heavy, but deep within, the fire's core still burned with a stubborn intensity. Wisps of smoke curled from cracks in the pile, hinting at the heat hidden beneath the damp exterior. The contrast between the wet shell and the smoldering heart was a reminder of nature's unpredictability. The EC220E, equipped with its powerful grapple rake, moved in with precision. Its operator skillfully deconstructed the pile, peeling back layers of charred wood and sodden branches to reveal the glowing embers below. Each movement was calculated, balancing safety with the need to keep the fire alive and under control. Unburnt logs and larger pieces were carefully set aside, sorted for later burning or removal. Meanwhile, the excavator rebuilt the glowing core on a patch of fresh ground, ensuring the fire would have the oxygen it needed to thrive. This process was as much about strategy as brute force, requiring constant attention to the fire's behavior. Stacking new material in a way that allowed for maximum airflow, the crew watched as the fire roared back to life. Flames licked upward, devouring the fresh fuel and sending a wave of heat across the site. The sound of crackling wood and the rush of flames signaled that the burn pile was once again doing its job. The larger EC-350E joined in, tossing in massive stumps and root balls, while the EC-220E continued to feed the flames with smaller branches and brush. The teamwork between machines and operators was seamless, each playing a vital role in keeping the fire burning efficiently and safely. As the fire grew, thick smoke billowed into the air, blanketing the site and reducing visibility. The acrid haze made every task more challenging, but the crew pressed on, eyes watering and faces streaked with sweat and soot. The work was relentless, but necessary to keep the project moving forward. Every load of wood added to the fire was a small victory, a visible sign of progress in the battle against the tangled mess of land clearing. Each trip to the burn pile brought the site one step closer to its future purpose, turning chaos into order and debris into ash. The steady plume of smoke rising from the burn pile became a marker of transformation, a signal to all that the landscape was changing. From above, the site looked like a living organism, with the burn pile at its heart, driving the process of renewal. It's dirty, hot, and exhausting work, demanding both physical endurance and mental focus. Yet, for all its challenges, burning is still the most efficient way to clear massive amounts of debris, making way for new growth and construction. By day's end, as the sun dipped behind the trees, the burn pile glowed like a beacon, a testament to the hard work and determination of the crew. The smoldering fire marked not just the end of another long day, but the steady progress toward a new beginning for the land. Not all our work was about clearing, some was about creating. The new pond, filled by recent rains, was ready for life. A healthy pond needs structure, so we recycled stumps as fish habitat. The EC-220E placed 7 large stumps into the water, each positioned for maximum benefit. Some went deep, others near the shore, one even upside down for a root canopy. These stumps would become underwater shelters for fish. It was a way to give back to the land, turning debris into habitat. We weren't just clearing for a house, we were building an ecosystem. This part of the job brought real satisfaction. Machines can create as well as destroy. The pond would support wildlife for years to come. That's stewardship in action. Amid the chaos, nature reminded us whose land this was. The EC-220E operator spotted a box turtle in the mud, right in harm's way. He stopped, climbed down, and gently moved the turtle to safety in the woods. It was a small act, but it mattered. Respect for wildlife is part of the job. Saving one turtle won't change the world, but it made a difference to that turtle. These moments stick with you. Progress and preservation can go hand in hand. Sometimes the best part of the day isn't the machines, it's the life you protect. Every muddy scoop was part of a bigger vision, a new family home. Clearing and burning was just the start. Next, we'd move dry dirt from a nearby hill to build up the driveway's foundation. The hole left behind would be filled with cooled ash from the burn pile, enriching the soil. It's a closed-loop system. Waste becomes resource. The new pond needed an overflow pipe, so a mini excavator would dig a precise trench. Every detail, from dirt management to drainage, was planned for sustainability. This is how raw land becomes a homestead. Every step was about building something lasting. As the sky darkened, we raced the clock. More rain was coming. The ground was already saturated. Another storm would halt work for days. The crew hustled, knowing every stump pulled was a win against the weather. If the site flooded, we'd move to a drier project. Flexibility is key in this business. Preparations began, fueling up, readying trailers, planning the move. Moving heavy equipment is a big job, but downtime is costly. As dusk fell, the burn pile roared and machines were parked high. We'd beaten the mud for now, but tomorrow was uncertain. Whether we'd return or start fresh elsewhere depended on the rain. That's the unpredictable adventure of a dirty job.